It's about that time again. We have to talk about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. They recently had their ratings come out, and I believe it was somewhere in like the 500, like high 500 and something thousand live viewers. And a lot of people are saying, what is going on? Here's the thing. We have to keep in mind the Olympics are happening right now. I'm actually surprised that Bravo is even releasing new episodes, especially because they fall under the NBC Universal umbrella. But I guess because they are on a schedule, and Bravo has had a very haphazard schedule in 2024 because a lot of shows have been put on pause, a lot of shows have been delayed. And I think that's part of the reason why they're not taking certain shows off the schedule, despite the Olympics happening. Speaking of the Olympics, congratulations to Simone Biles. First of all, to have Beyonce narrate this promo ahead of you being a part of the all-around competition and winning the all-around competition. I'm so mad at myself. I've been so caught up on Love Island UK. I know it's completely over. Shout out to those of you in the UK. I'm coming in October. Oh, did I say that? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Tickets will be on sale hopefully very soon. But I can't wait to come to the UK and talk about all things hot topics, all things, whatever reality television. But I did a recent collaboration with Your Aunties Could Never. And I said, based off of how they described the last few episodes, because I was far behind, I said I have to keep watching. So I've been watching and trying to multitask and move and all that kind of stuff in between doing all of that. I say all that to say that's part of the reason why I haven't really been able to sit down and watch the Olympics. And I love gymnastics. I used to always watch it as a kid. And I'm so mad at myself that I haven't been able to watch the women's team and the men's team. The men's team never used to win in the US. Like, they sucked big time. But now they're doing really well and they won. So congratulations to all the Olympians. I definitely have to get in line to watch the track and field. I think the problem for me personally is that when these things are actually airing, it's spoiled for me by the time I'm ready to watch it, maybe in the evening, because everyone's already announcing, because, you know, Paris is 5-6 hours ahead of us. So then there's that. Then there's that. But whoa, 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 Kempire. Or should I say, whoa, 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 Katie. Let's get into the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. And don't forget to vote in the live chat poll to let me know how you would rate this week's episode of the show.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. And if you miss anything that we posted this week, go and check it out, because some of you have really hit me up and said, Kempire, I'm not seeing any of your videos. I have to actually go to your channel. And I know some of you, like, you rely on the Explorer page to let you know when things are happening, or you rely on notifications, and sometimes you don't even realize your notifications aren't on. So let me just remind you, turn your notifications off, turn them back on. Make sure that you're coming to the page so you can see the shorts that I'm posting, the videos that I'm posting. We've posted quite a few things over the last few days. And if you really don't want to miss out and you feel like YouTube's not giving you what you need when it comes to my content, check me out on TikTok, Instagram, and for a different experience, check me out on Twitter. You know, on Twitter the other day, I was watching the interview that the National Association of Black Journalists did with Donald Trump. Look, politics are serious. And again, go vote. But very much like when I was in Boston in the hotel room watching the debate between Biden and Trump, I probably shouldn't be this entertained. I know that these are powerful people in the world that are going to affect our lives in the future. But sometimes you just have to take some of these things and laugh to yourself like, this can't be real, right? Like this can't be real. This can't be America. However, I'm watching this interview and I think the serious part of this is that people can't see through the BS. And I'm watching this and I'm like, this can't be real. Like I'm watching it in a humorous way because I'm like, this man is ridiculous, right? Like, does he believe what he's like? Okay. And for those that, hey, I didn't come here to talk politics. I'm not talking politics. I'm talking about the sheer ridiculousness. But I always tell you too, politics is a part of pop culture. But regardless, go vote. Register to vote. Check your voter registration at vote.gov. But anyways, I say all that to say, today's live show is sponsored by our friends over at Factor Meals. Look, I'm always thinking about food. I don't know about you, but especially now that I'm in the middle of getting myself together for a move, the last thing that I want to do is cook. I'll do it because I'm trying to be healthy and I'm trying not to eat out and do, you just never know what people are putting in your food. However, one thing we can rely on from Factor Meals is that they have a meal for everyone. If you're on a special diet, they have a meal for you. Are you on keto? Or do you want more protein? Okay, they have it. Or are you just watching your calories? Well, Factor Meals has Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and even keto meals. In just 2 minutes in the microwave, you can have a quality meal. It's not like some of those other meals you microwave and it's like watery and the flavor is not there, or it's just the texture is just disgusting. Not with Factor Meals. They have 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons. I love their add-ons probably more than anything else, but check out everything. But their add-ons are pretty cool, especially if there are certain like little healthy shots that you're looking for, like those turmeric ginger shot stuff. They have all of that. Head on over to factormeals.com/Kempire50 and use code Kempire50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your first month. That's code Kempire50 at factormeals.com/Kempire50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. More details on Factor Meals will be available in the description. And shout out to those of you that let me know that you've tried it, you're loving it. I love that. I love that we can bring something quality to the channel. Let me take a sip from my coldest water bottle. Okay. Anyways. All right, shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our live chat members. Shout out to our channel members, I should say. And shout out to our subscribers. We appreciate you. And those that are watching in the bushes, we appreciate you too. Okay, I appreciate the watch. You don't have to subscribe. I only encourage you guys to subscribe, not for my ego, because at the end of the day, it's more about who's watching. But if you want to subscribe so you don't miss out on content like shorts, community tabs, when I'm posting at the last minute, you'll be alerted because you're subscribed. All right. Moving on, let's get into the Real Housewives of Orange County. What's been going on? How would you guys rate this week's episode of Orange County? I thought it was a solid episode. I do like Katie, but Katie, I just feel like why is this the hill you decided to die on the show? I'm just like, and look, I'm not saying that Heather Dubrow is above being challenged. It just felt like, yes, there were some things that Heather did that were questionable. Her asking about you instead of getting to know you. But I also don't think that Heather did anything egregious for you to bring this paparazzi story to these women. And I get it. You don't know these women. You don't know someone like Tamara. Tamara's talking about it, and now she's bringing it to Heather before you can. I don't think it was worth talking about, to be honest with you, because Heather would not be the first, nor will she be the last to call paparazzi. But Heather, I know you pretend to be a particular person, which is very Hollywood, not very New York of you. And this is why I don't think I could live in Hollywood. But shout out to those of you that do, because there are some real ones that live out there. But that's always been my impression, and why it's like, I'm staying in New York. That's always been my impression about that part of town. Not all of California, but that part of town. It's like, that lifestyle, that personality, that scene is not my scene. And I love the New York scene. The New York scene is just like, it is what it is, in my opinion. Some people might disagree. Some people might think it's harsh. Maybe. Anyway, speaking of Heather, at the top of this episode, she's on her balcony, not balcony, terrace. I'm learning the different for her terrace. With her husband Terry, and she's just talking about, is that Drake's house? Like, this is just above our pay grade. She's like, is that Drake's house? Is Drake's house that close to us? Okay. Is that doesn't he live in Calabasas? Okay. And then she's saying that, they have the two homes. She has her renovation. Some of you said, I'm tired of Heather and the storyline of her rebuilding a house. I'm not. I'm not. But I personally like home renovations. I'm also just starting. I was on my Peloton and I've said, oh, you know what? There's so many other things on Netflix to watch. I'm going to start watching Owning Manhattan for the third time. But I'm just going to do it when I'm on my Peloton. When I'm not on the Peloton, I will watch something else, something new, okay, that I haven't seen. But I'm loving my Owning Manhattan, okay? That is going to keep me on the Peloton for a good, at least half hour. But anyways, so they're talking about their properties and what they're going to do with their properties. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, I know some of you are not here for it, but I'm just here for the renovation, and I still want to see this renovation. We're not seeing the renovation though, Heather. Are they not going to show it to us? This is why I say you need a separate something. I don't know if it needs to be a spinoff or just a YouTube. You need a separate something. I'm sure we get to probably see a whole other side of Heather watching that process versus us seeing her on this show. Yeah, we have our cute, funny moments with Heather, but I also feel like there's nothing really going on with Heather besides her building her house. But she does talk in this particular scene, the stroke that Terry had, and she said during the reunion that she's going to schedule a time to have her breakdown, and she talked about she did have that breakdown, and she scheduled it. And which makes me believe the paparazzi story even more. You're very controlled in regards to how people view you. And I'm okay with that because it kind of makes you a little bit more interesting in a way. Because I can see how it can make people be like, I'm bored with Heather because she is inauthentic in regards to it. But it's funny how your inauthenticity or your very manicured personality is interesting to me. Because normally I take back inauthentic because I don't think she's necessarily inauthentic. She's very controlled. Because I do think that there is because it translates better for me. And I think with the audience that when Heather is Heather and Heathering, it's not that that's not who she is. She is controlling. She is going to narrate how you view her. But that's who she really is. I don't think that at home, Heather is starkly different. If anything, I think she's probably... No, we do get to see the warm side of Heather. I do think that she is motherly as well. Because she's done a damn good job with those kids. So... I think that's why we kind of let Heather get away with being so just like Virgo-like, and she's not a Virgo. I know she's not a Virgo, but she. I'm telling you, if we do her chart, I bet there's some Virgo in there. Probably a lot of Virgo. Sorry, Virgos. Not y'all catching strays. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I love a Virgo. Well, look, Lies! The lie! Okay, Candy, shut up. No, I do. I tell you guys, anytime you need something done, anytime you want to collaborate with someone, get you a Virgo. And that's exactly what I did when I was looking for my new place. Anyways, moving on. So she said she scheduled her breakdown. She had her breakdown, and now she's better in regards to, possibly losing Terry. I do believe, some people, there were rumors. This is where the paparazzi, stage paparazzi stuff came from. That there was trouble in paradise. I think their relationship probably has changed, as all relationships after being together for such a long time, and now your kids are getting older and they're leaving the nest, and now everyone is different. And I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily believe that there's trouble. I definitely think that they probably have had their hiccups, as any relationship does. But I do believe that they love each other, and they're very like two peas in a pod in a lot of ways. And I like their little dark humor. But again, we're watching an edited show. So for all I know, these two could be hateful to each other. Who knows? I don't get that vibe though. And I'm very intuitive. Right? Anyways. So girls' night out. So Emily, Jen, Tamara, Katie, and Gina go to a dive bar. But first, we're going to go to Katie's house. But Emily decides she's going to pee in a bush outside. I get it. Housewives fans will be like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Sonia did it first. And even when Sonia did it, it was just like, really? Look, really? But Emily said she didn't want to go inside because then she would have to do greetings with Katie's husband. And she's like, it's girls' night. She doesn't want to do that. And I love me some Emily sometimes. This just felt nasty. I didn't like it when Sonia did it. I don't like. Here's the thing. If you were somewhere and you really could not get to a bathroom, then I get it. You can't hold it. It is what it is. But really, you literally could have went inside. If you peed in front of my house, and I know dogs do it all the time, but that's gross. And look, what are my neighbors thinking if they look out their window and they see some random woman peeing in a bush? What are they thinking of me and my people that I'm hanging out with? Just saying. Anyway, so they go out and they have a good time. The ladies are dancing on tables and dancing on bars. When I went to Nashville, I stayed at a hotel that was right next to a Coyote Ugly. Never again, because I didn't realize they were right next to a Coyote Ugly. So, luckily they moved my room, but the room that I had originally, you could hear the music from the Coyote Ugly bar. And I was like, oh no. I said, I have a Nashville show. I need my beauty rest. I did not come here. I just had come from East Tennessee where it was like quiet. I said, I didn't come to Nashville to listen to Coyote Ugly music all night. Okay. But they moved my room and I slept well. Okay. Shout out to them. All right. Anyways. Oh, that's when I randomly ran into one of our community. I was just walking down one of these little alleys on that same street and she was coming out of work and she's like, Kempire? I was like, hey. It was such a random place because that street was closed. I think the 2nd Avenue was closed. So to meet one of you guys in the wild is rare, down a random alleyway. But it was cool. She had great energy. So it was, hey, lady. Look, I can't remember everyone's names. Look, I'm getting older. Anyways, okay. So they're having a good time. And then, of course, Heather and the paparazzi photo comes up. Katie says that she knows someone that is like ahead of all of these paparazzi. When she said the head of all these paparazzi, I was just like, Katie, I feel like you're reaching. But she clarifies what she says. Basically, what she's saying, this guy is a top guy when it comes to the paparazzi, and that a lot of people reach out to him, including Kim Kardashian. Not Kim Kardashian catching a stray. I mean, we all knew Kim does this. She does a lot of stuff for the cameras. But for Katie to kind of throw that out there, that this guy is the guy that Kim Kardashian calls. So, which is funny because this is what happens when people see like Kim get really frustrated with the paparazzi. This is what people get frustrated with celebrities. Like you swear up and down, you get frustrated and angry at paparazzi, but here you are calling them. So this is what Katie says that Heather did. And she says this guy told her and she has a screenshot to prove it. So of course Tamara's eating this up. She's like, I knew it. Because you remember last season, Emily and Tamara were discussing this. And Heather denied it. She's like, I don't need to do that. And then, okay. Even last season, I believe that you did it, Heather. Do I care? Heather's going to take that to the grave. Heather is never going to admit that she hired this person. But I also think, Katie, that this wasn't necessary. I mean, I guess for the storyline, it's pushed forward. But I feel like maybe this is why the ratings are going down. This is what we're focused on. I feel like it's weird, Katie, but I guess because you have tea to share, and I guess you have you want to prove a point, or maybe you mentioned it to production and they were like, yeah, we want you to run with this. We need you to bring it up. And you're like, okay, I'll bring it up. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Do you feel like this was not worth it? I don't care about this storyline. Because in my head, I'm like, I don't really care about this. I also think it's not weird. I think that it was unnecessary, Katie. It's one thing to if you ran with the narrative. She's been asking Cynthia Bailey. That's Cynthia coming up. Is Cynthia going to make an appearance this season? But the fact that she's hanging out with Cynthia, Sutton, and Garcelle, I'm like, no, Katie's still cool in my book. I just feel like, Katie, you're barking up the wrong tree. And it's not just because it's Heather. Even if it was someone else, it's just like, so you just came into this group to be messy? I would much rather you focus on she saw me, looked at me, and looked away, or she's been asking my friends about me, which is weird. It is weird, but I'm not surprised because I believe in those circles in those kinds of groups and socialites, they do that. I've watched enough Desperate Housewives to know. Right? So I'm not completely surprised by it. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong. And the way that Heather was able to spin that on you at your golf event, I was like, damn, Heather's good. She's like, oh, so you have a text exchange with the paparazzi? Oh, so you know who these people are. And then she spun it around. She's like, oh, she's stalking me. The way that Heather was able to spin that on you so nicely and it made a lot of sense. I was like, this is why Heather is top tier housewives. Anyways, so Katie says she has proof. Then they talk about how Heather tagged Katie in her birthday post, and then they flash back to when Katie brought it up to Heather and when they were getting their pedicures. And Heather, I didn't believe you then either. Heather's like, well, I don't post my own stuff. I have a social media manager. And, your last name probably is how it came up. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I do believe you have a social media manager, but I believe you tagged her, maybe because you were spying. I don't know. Katie believes that Heather did it intentionally. Do you think she did it intentionally? I think she did it by accident. Like she was going through her Instagram and did that I don't know. I think it was an accident. But at the same time, Katie, I feel like you're reaching. I don't think Katie's as thirsty as Noella. However, I do think that Katie, you're reaching and looking for a problem with Heather, even though I do believe Heather may have been weird to you. But the way you could have combated that was kill her with kindness. To be like, she doesn't like me. Make her look like the crazy one. But now you look like the stalker. You look like the stalker. Okay, I don't really believe that you're stalking her. But now you look like you're looking for a problem. All right. So girls' night out, they end up on the bar having a good time. Shannon and Vicky. Look, I haven't watched Real Housewives of Orange County chapter and verse. I did do a separate story talking about Vicky Gunvalson and the financial elder abuse that she's being accused of. So it's not lost on me that this woman has a staph infection and she's just like, I had to get back to work. From stealing from older people? Allegedly. But then she says, I make enough money to retire, but I like to work. Oh, do you make enough money? Like, I'm looking at everything that she's saying and thinking of this woman, Diane's story. And I'm like, ooh, anyone else? So as I'm listening to it, I'm like, well, Vicky, quite telling. I will say, though, I do enjoy seeing Vicky on the show in this capacity. I know from a lot of what you guys have said that Vicky became intolerable at the end of her tenure on the show. But I don't mind her in this friend of position because she genuinely has friendships with these women. So I don't mind her in this friend of role. And I have to say, she's so kooky. It gives that light, fun energy that you need in an episode because she really is kooky as hell. Okay. So this is also the scene where we find out that John Jansen is suing Shannon for $75,000. I don't believe they mention in the scene why he's suing her, but we know it's because he allegedly gave her the money for plastic surgery. And she doesn't want to go through a lawsuit because she's like, we're going to end up spending more than $75,000 if we take this to court. John Jansen is not a good man. And then, what's her name? Oh, God. Jesus Jugs. Alexis. She claims that John Jansen offered her her salary for this season of Orange County if she wouldn't do it. So why is she doing it? I don't believe that. I believe Alexis is thirsty. I believe that John Jansen is thirsty. I but I appreciate what see I'm by saying Alexa's name, I'm triggering my damn Alexa. So I'm getting distracted, so I'm hearing her go off in the background. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. I'm trying to do a show here. Sorry, y'all. I was a little distracted because I'm hearing the thing go off and I'm like, oh God, here we go. Anyways, so I appreciate this storyline for Shannon this season, but at the same time, I'm just like, that this just means that these two are going on podcast interviews. John Jansen is still around. And if you have ever been in a situation where you had an ex, the last thing you want to do is have to deal with that ex still after you've broken up with them. Now you have to deal with it on a public platform. Shannon's not perfect, but John Jansen is trash. And Alexis, I wish you luck. I do. I mean, I don't know if I really wish you luck, but good luck, girl. Okay. Anyways, they do have a conversation with Paris in regards to their Tres Amigas tour that they were supposed to do with Tamra. Tamra dropped out of it, didn't say a word, and I saw that Tamra was slamming Vicky. Tamra, it doesn't land well. I mean, look, I know Vicky's not a great person either, but I forgot what. Oh, they played it was a clip from Two Nats in a Podcast, and. Two Nats in a Podcast, and they had this clip of Tamra talking about how Vicky is not a good friend to her, and blah 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 blah. And they're playing the sad music behind the clip. And I'm like, Tamra, like, it doesn't land well. We've seen you not be a good friend. We've seen you be inconsistent. Very much like last season. Literally in this episode, you're starting problems for Katie and Heather. And I know you feel like you're probably just doing your job as a housewife, but I guess that comes at a cost of you trying to be an actual friend to someone. Anyways, so they're trying to figure out how they're going to do this tour where it's just Shannon and Vicky. Vicky doesn't need the money. However, Shannon's is like, this is another stream of income. I have kids in college. You know, she didn't do well after her divorce. I feel bad for Shannon in a lot of ways. Like, she needs this job. She needs this extra job. That's sad when you reach this particular age. She just literally says in this episode why she's going to do golf. She's like, I should do golf. I'm at a retirement age, so homegirl can't retire. So she's under a lot of pressure. Still no excuse to drink and drive. However, I feel for Grandma Shannon. That's what I call her, and that's not an ageist thing. It's just she gives, even if she was 20, her energy gives me grandma, and I like it. Look, I like it. Anyways, Jen and Ryan at home. Jen it's apparently trying to learn how to do her own lashes because she's on a budget. She is Malibu broke Barbie. She did post a photo of her that with a bathing suit that said Malibu Barbie, and I told you last week, Emily's issues with Jen is weird, and it makes me believe that there is a level of jealousy. And I was speaking with Taria from What Else Is Going On podcast, because, every once in a while we have our side conversations about the episodes. And I'm not gonna say it, Taria. Don't worry, I'm not gonna say what, because we had some kitchen table talk. But we both believe that that Emily is jealous of Jen, and I'm not sure exactly what or why. But it feels like jealousy. I don't know if it's for sure jealousy, but it feels unwarranted, like the energy that Emily's giving towards Jen. But Jen, the little clapbacks that you've been doing, you got it, girl. The way she dragged Gina in her confessional, her going on social media, putting the Malibu Barbie bathing suit on and looking fabulous. Jen is one to watch. She was our MVP last season. She's my MVP this season. Because I feel like, I was like, oh, okay, Jen's got it. She just ain't got no money. Well, now she does, look. Now she does. She's got her settlement. But at the time, she's like, should I be posting about going to Vegas? Even though you're paying for everything? Look, Jen, is it insensitive because yes, it's a little insensitive, especially because Gina's going through what she's going through. She's claiming that she lost money because of this, and she lost a relationship with the realtor. Maybe you shouldn't post that you're going to Vegas. I don't think you should post it. But in all fairness, it really isn't her money. It's all Ryan's money. You know, the $60 million that we don't know where it came from, says the feds, allegedly. But she says, you know, she expresses her concern over Emily's comments to Ryan. And he's just like, girl, you don't need to worry about what they think. But Jen says, you know, she isn't happy that she feels insecure. She uses the words that she doesn't feel like she's an equivalent to the women that she's around or in her life. I think she's referring to the women. She feels pressure. And I've heard other housewives say this before. Some of them don't say it and they just fake it. You know, renting houses, renting, getting fake, designer stuff just to seem like they have it. Monica Reality Von Teese, Garcia Delgado, Darnell, Jussie Smollett was like one of the first to admit, and this is what made her a great housewife. This is why we liked Monica and Jen, because they admitted, like, I feel insecure. And a lot of these housewives aren't brave enough to be that person on these shows. But some of you shame them like, we didn't watch the show to feel like regular people. I don't mind it, to be honest with you. I didn't really start watching Real Housewives looking for luxury. Yes, we got that on Beverly Hills, but Beverly Hills has always been that luxury. The other cities, no, go look back at Atlanta. Yeah, some of them had nice houses, but this is Georgia. You could get a big house for very little money. New York, yes, some of these folks were living on the upper east side, but they didn't really live in these big palatial estates here in New York. Jersey, yes, but that money was funny too. But I get it. Some of you watch for that, so you don't want to have to think about your own life. Coldest, y'all. In my move, I'm definitely taking my coldest water bottle. I'm not forgetting my coldest water bottle. If you want a discount of 10% off, use the discount code KEMPIRE10 for 10% off at Coldest. Still haven't ordered my sheets yet, but I will be. I just have so much on my plate. I keep forgetting. I need to order this. I need to remember that. And blah, blah, blah. I even put together my registry. I have other registries because a lot of you saying I should do. Where's my list? I have my list here. You guys gave me a list of registries to consider. Amazon, Target. I tried to do my Target registry. I got an error message. Home Goods, Etsy, TJ Maxx, and Marshalls. I think I'm just going to put the gift cards, if they have that available, on Amazon. Because I'm like, how many registries do I need? Like, that's another job. I appreciate the support, y'all. None of you have to contribute to it. Because at the end of the day, and to Tauruses, you can relate. When I want something, I get it. I'm not waiting on anyone to give it to me. But this is like the first time I'm even considering doing some sort of like housewarming kind of thing. And a lot of you said that you wanted to know my registry. So we'll be posting links in there. If you're a member of the channel, I gave members first dibs. Like, that's not part of your membership, but I was like, they're members. They pay monthly. Some of you have been members for 3 years. And you want dibs on the cheapest item. I get it. Come on. I get it. But none of you have to get anything, okay? But if you want to get me a little something and be a part of the decor of my new place, I appreciate it. All right? Anyways, moving on. How did we get on this? Oh, Jenn. Oh, so we find out a little bit more about Jenn's yoga studio. So apparently she's being sued for back rent because she had a verbal... See, Jenn is not the brightest tool, but I still think she's a sweetheart. And you'll find out why in the next scene with Katie and her husband. But this is what we loved about Jenn from last season. But she's not the brightest one. And again, because maybe she didn't need to be. She got married really young. She didn't have to worry about money or anything like that. She can make business mistakes and not worry about it. So apparently she had a verbal agreement with her previous landlord. And the rent was during the pandemic. So it was dirt cheap. Only when this became a new landlord under new management, they were like, you owe us money, and sued her. I don't know if I believe that 100%. I don't know why she wouldn't get that in writing. But, oh, Jenn. But let's go to Vegas and spend some money and post it on Instagram. So Katie, we get to see with Katie and her husband going out to eat. And she talks about how they met and their relationship and how it started. And apparently, like, he works in golf news, okay, and commentary. So apparently on there, he didn't show up for one of their dates, and she was just like, "Why didn't you show up?" And he's like, I was really tired because he was waking up at like 3 a.m. for a morning show. But she said it was love at first sight for her. She also talked about planning this golf event, and she talked about what she was originally going to name it, drinking and driving. And she told the ladies about it. She told specifically Shannon and Heather about it, and Heather was like, "Yeah, I don't think that's a good name. I think you might want to rebrand." Why drinking and driving is never a good match of words together. It's never a good pairing of words ever. I don't know what Katie was thinking. I just drinking and drive. I did. We're gonna give you a pass, Katie, but she decided to change it. She decided to change it. Good. So Katie also brings up her conversation with Jenn and how, remember Katie was adopted. So Jenn talks about how her youngest son is adopted, and she wanted to know because her son looks different than her, and he asked questions about that. So she was trying to get advice from Katie about stuff like that. So she said she really has built like this bond with Jenn, but she told her, it's like, I didn't have that. All the kids that were in the family were adopted. But she does wish that her parents did have her integrate more with her culture. But they didn't. And I understood. I mean, I think in this day and age, adoptive parents are definitely thinking about that more. I think when Katie was a young girl, that was the era where when people would say, "Oh, I don't see color," and they thought that was acceptable. And it's not that. If people understand, when you say you don't see color, it means that you don't see them. And I think that was what the family was trying to do. Of course, they had good intentions. However, now Katie's a grown woman and she feels disconnected from who she is. So now she encourages her children to learn more about their culture. So I thought that was a really cool thing. And that's what I love about Katie. I love about Katie, but also what I love about Jenn, that she's trying to make an effort to make her son feel seen. So I'll always have a soft place in my heart for Jenn because I do believe she's an incredible mom. Point blank, period. Speaking of Katie, so we have this next scene with Gina and Katie. So they're preparing for this golf event. Gina gives us an update on what's going on with Travis. Travis lives down the road, but she said she's feeling lonely without him. Gina does warn Katie about this conversation about Heather. She's just like, yeah, you don't want to go there. That whole paparazzi conversation, Heather's not going to see that as silly and light. Okay? In another scene, so they're flipping back and forth, Tamara and Emily are hanging out, and they talk about how Gina has an issue with Tamara and Emily becoming close. Tamara as Katie and Gina are talking about the stage paparazzi photos from Heather Dubrow, Tamara and Emily are reenacting it. All right. Emily says that she's just happy about this. She says she feels vindicated. She wants to see Fancy Pants with her pants down. See, this is a side of Emily that we're seeing. I think Emily is probably jealous and insecure around these women. And this is how it comes out. This is how it shows itself. But I get it. I think a lot of people in this group probably wants to see Fancy Pants crack because they're like, your life can't be that perfect. I don't know if she's ever said her life was perfect. I know she gives that depiction, but I think people that really know things, like, yeah, of course your life is not perfect. But to want to see someone's life crack or see, and I guess this is a light issue in comparison to like an actual issue, of your life falling apart. But so Tamara and Emily are giggling and reenacting that moment while we find out with Gina and Katie, she's like, well, I'm friends with this woman named Cynthia. And Cynthia was telling me that when she saw Heather at this party, Heather made a beeline for her and was asking her all kinds of questions about me. Again, based off of the scene that we're talking about, and I mean the Hollywood scene, the LA scene, I don't think, not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not surprised by it. Doesn't necessarily make it right. It's not like I felt like Heather was trying to dig up dirt on Katie to use it against her. But maybe she was, and maybe that's the way that Katie took it. I didn't take it like that. Only for Heather to throw it back at her at the end. So we get this little scene of Gina and Emily getting ready for this golf event. And Gina brings up the fact that Jenn posted that she's in Vegas. And she's like, I wonder if she's going to get glam for this golf event. Then they segue to a scene with Jenn getting glam for this event. Look, I can appreciate that Jenn is just going to lean into, my man got it. They might not like it, but my man got it. Does she still owe that money? Because I guess maybe she doesn't want to pay it because technically her husband's supposed to pay that rent that is owed. I don't know. Look, I don't know. I wish the best for Jenn and her kids. Katie's golf event. So everyone arrives for Katie's golf event. Katie, shout out to you because the fact that we have a prize that's Prada sunglasses, I was like, oh, I'm here for it. So Gina pulls Heather to the side to let her know what she's going through and that Travis basically broke up with her because he feels like, he's putting her through a lot of chaos. And I think we don't really have the full scope of what's going on with Travis and why Gina felt like we need to live separately. There are details I think that are missing that makes, I think a lot of people like, why did you feel like you had to live separately? Like he needs to just leave you. However, and Travis made it seem like, yeah, this is your decision. I don't want this, but this is your decision. However, then we see a scene where, well, we don't see a scene. We see her talking in the scene that he's falling apart and upset about what was going on with his ex-wife and how it's affecting her and their relationship. So basically he's like, I don't think we should be together. So she's like, well, wait a few months and then break up with me. So there's a lot more going on with that Travis stuff. That Travis stuff has been now settled. We recently talked about that a couple of recaps ago. So that's in a good place now because the courts have come to some sort of terms and agreement. So I don't know if Gina and Travis have moved back in with each other. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't move in with each other until they're able to afford a bigger place where everyone in the kids can live well. Maybe. Anyway, so the women play golf, and someone told me the other day, who was it? They were like, I think you would like golf. Oh, it's my Pilates instructor. She's like, I think you would like golf. Really? I didn't think that I would like golf. But then I was, people were saying that it was relaxing, and I was like, okay, do I look like I need to relax? I'd much rather do something else. But okay, fine, whatever works, whatever you think might work for me, fine. All right. So they're playing the game, and it comes down to Gina and Emily, but Emily wins by 1 point. Okay, I don't understand the game, but fine. Katie decides to get hot dogs because she wants to, okay, for lack of a better words, suck up to Heather. She's like, I know Heather likes hot dogs, and Heather's like, I do love a pig in a blanket. Oh, she's such a character. All right, Tamra. So Tamara's just like, I think I should tell Heather about the whole Katie stuff. Why? Why is that your business? Why is that important? I get it. She wants to be, as Carlos would say, a force multiplier. She feels like that's her duty. But literally, Katie says, I'm going to have a conversation with Heather. But look who ruins it. Tamra, what is going on with you personally? Because I feel like you're always in everyone else's business and you don't have any business of your own to mind. Do I think that the conversation between Heather and Katie would have been different? Maybe not so much, but I think Heather would have been caught off guard, but Tamara gave her a heads up, basically. So Katie has a conversation with Heather. Heather's already has a wall up because Tamara just told her. And Katie basically says, I've heard that you've been asking people about me. I don't know why you're doing that. When you saw me, you looked me up and down and you turned away. And then she brings up the stage photos. Heather's is like, I've never done that. I swear on my kids. I don't like the swearing on the kids stuff. That's not necessary. And Heather, I believe that you did stage the photos, so the fact that you're swearing on your kids is ick to me. Anyone else? I'm just like, don't swear on the kids because I believe it, Heather. I believe it. Don't swear on the kids. Don't swear on the kids. And I like your kids. Don't swear on the kids. I believe it though. Look, because I know you guys are saying to me, but maybe she didn't. But I believe it. And the fact that she's swearing on her kids, it's like, don't do that. Don't do that. But then Heather spins it on Katie. I'm sure Katie felt like this. Oh my God, how did she spin that? She's like, maybe you're the one stalking me. And maybe you're the one speaking to paparazzi. You basically have their text number. I do believe Heather is calling the paparazzi. She does seem very Hollywood in that way. Do I believe everyone in Hollywood is doing that? No, but a good majority are. They all know where to go to get photographed and where paparazzi will be. Or they will call them like Sheree, she by someone else, brings them to the Whole Foods in Atlanta. My thing is, I feel like Sheree's paying those people to do that. Like, that's even sadder when you have to pay them. At least with Heather, I think she just calls them, they'll show up because they'll make money off of it. But Sheree, you're paying these people, allegedly, to come to the Whole Foods and randomly ask you questions, and we're supposed to believe that's real? How'd this become about Sheree? Because this is what Sheree's doing. But I will give it to Heather. She wins this battle. And I told you I'm on the fence on what side of the fence I'm going to ride in regards to this whole situation. Okay? Because I wanted to see how this played out. But Katie, I feel like you came with the fever and Heather won this battle. I'd much rather you guys let this go because it just doesn't feel like a fight worth having. And if she was asking about you, you of all people in this area know that this happens. You probably have done that with other people, Katie. Not saying that it's right, but that is the energy. I'd much rather you lean on that than bring up this paparazzi stuff. But I'm sure Emily and Tamara love it. They're like, the heat's off of us. We can run with Katie did it. And you fell for it. That's a big newbie mistake. That's a big newbie mistake. You see how Tamara threw you under the bus? But you brought it to the camera. You didn't need to bring it to the camera. And I'm not saying that you need to be scared of Heather Dubrow, but if you're going to come at a Heather Dubrow, you better come correct. And you better come with not just screenshots, but with something worth the audience being like, oh, yeah. The audience doesn't care that Heather Dubrow has called the paparazzi. They don't. I'm going to speak for the audience. We don't care because we know that these things happen in Hollywood. You basically threw Kim Kardashian under the bus. So to this hill that you decided to die on in regards to the paparazzi and, oh, she's asking friends about me, none of that stuff for me should be a major issue. Is it something you could bring up, like the asking about you? Yes. But even then, I heard she was asking about me. It's like, worth it? I don't know. I mean, she didn't find out anything and use it against me. But, oh, wait, is it like a Margaret Joseph situation? Was she trying to gather stuff to come? I don't know. Look, I don't remember everything with Heather over the years. Has she gotten information on someone and used it against them? You guys will let me know in the live chat. But based on what I've seen of Heather since she's been back, I'm not saying she's innocent. And I'm not saying that she doesn't work behind the scenes and do her own dirty stuff. But I also haven't seen her necessarily take information that she's learned and use it against someone. Like, she hasn't done a Tamara to me. Like, I've seen Tamara be that way. But I could be wrong. I'm not usually, but I could be. Guys, have you liked the video yet? What are you waiting on? Have you subscribed? Have you checked out some of the things that you may have missed over the last couple of days? Be sure to check that out. More information on my housewarming, more information on Factor Meals, and more information on Coldest will be available in the description. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to those of you watching in the bushes. And thank you for liking the video if you have already. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to those of you that send in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps, PayPals, All of that is greatly appreciated as we continue to grow the channel and we're able to put more into the channel. And now I got to figure out what I want this new studio space to look like. It will be ever evolving, as always. Look, as always, you always know I'm always changing up the studio, but at least this space, I'm able to really like do some stuff. So we'll be working on it. We'll be working on it. And of course, I'll take your suggestions. Oh, as always, guys, don't forget again to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to turn on your notifications. More information on our sponsor will be available in the description. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all.